Welcome back to CKTV.
In today's episode, we'll give you a look at the 8th graders' trip to the Holocaust Museum
Cover sixth grade DNA silk screens.
and recap 7th graders' sled races.
CKTV starts now.
New intro. Did you like it? Yeah, me neither. Anyways, back to the program.
Good morning, MSB. I'm Nolan Bradley.
And I'm Yanbo Huang. If you haven't already realized, we're watching CKTV.
Today is February 27th, 2026.
And we're coming to you from the CKTV studio.
Just 15 more wake-ups until spring break.
Yay! Nolan, what are you going to be doing over spring break?
I'm traveling to Tennessee with my family.
That's cool.
You?
Honestly, I'm not doing much at all.
Boring.
Nolan, I filled my cup with water today.
You did. Did you clean it first?
Yeah. Well, we took a little break since our last show, but we're back and ready to fill you in on what's been going on. Let's get to it.
Today wraps up Spirit Week with CK Spirit Day. As part of a tradition practiced by the upper school, MSB participated too, having some fun during this midwinter stretch. We had Pajama Day, Beach Day, Jersey Day, and Field Day Team Spirit Day.
Which, speaking of Field Day, is way different this year thanks to Mr. Hughes bringing back an old school tradition. This year, Field Day teams have gone from 8 to just 3.
Rather than this being an end-of-year thing, the teams were announced and now can start getting points leading up to the big event at the end of the year. This year's teams are the Towers, the color blue, the Fountains who are red, and finally the Quadrangles who are orange.
CKTV reporters Aiden, Chen, and Sasha caught up with some teachers to hear more about this change.
Well, it was an idea I think Mr. Hughes kind of was thinking of in the past few years when he was helping Mr. Rock, who's retired, with Field Day. And it actually dates back to, I believe, Mr. Hughes said the 1930s. There were 3 clubs in the boys' middle school that did similar type activities, I guess. So it's kind of a little bit of a throwback to almost 100 years ago.
Field Day in the fall anymore. We do it the last day of school. And so to build up the enthusiasm and get teams ready to go, we will be competing in small challenges from now until the last day of school. So teams start earning points before Field Day even happens. And also, much like the girls' school with their green and white teams, brothers and other family members will always be on the same team. And so that just sort of is a new tradition for us here.
Thanks for that, guys. In other full school news, the Trek Set Challenge continues with the goal of collecting 1,000 pounds of plastic to be sent to Treks. CKMSB has already met that goal by sending 1,078 pounds.
The 1,000 pounds mark gives of a bench made of recycled plastic, but Mr. Toth wants to challenge us to see if we can double our goal and get to 2,000 pounds. As a reminder, the plastic you can be bringing includes plastic grocery bags or film plastic.
Parent-teacher conferences are coming up at the end of next week and this year. At least for the 8th grade, we're trying something new.
That's right, the new parent-teacher includes students making a presentation about their growth over their 3 years here. This new kind of conference will have students leading the first half of the conference and the teachers allowing time to answer any questions the parent might have during the second half.
In other news, the next drama performance is coming up in 2 weeks. The drama club has been rehearsing for quite some time now.
Nolan is playing one of the key roles in the play, the Witch's Princess. The play will debut Thursday, March 12th, and there will be a second performance on the 13th. Both boys and girls schools are invited to go watch the show during school on the 12th.
Thanks for that shout-out, Yambo. We can't wait to show everyone what we've been working on. Shifting to other teams hard at work, the robotics states for 8th graders was this past weekend in Granville. Both of our middle school VEX V5 teams, 38A and 38X, made it to the semifinalist round, earning their spot for Worlds.
38A placed third in skills and 38X won by getting the Think Award. By getting to the semifinalist round, Both teams will be headed to St. Louis to compete in the World Championships in April. Both teams also qualified for the U.S. Open Invitational Tournament on April 16th. Congrats, guys.
Now, let's hop into grade level news.
The 8th graders went to the Holocaust Museum yesterday. Reporter Yambo Huang, that's me, has more.
Founded in 1981 by Michigan Holocaust survivors, the Zeckelman Holocaust Center in Farmington Hills is Michigan's largest Holocaust museum. Yesterday, the 8th graders had the opportunity to visit there. It was a dive into the darkest chapters of human history. To learn more about the purpose of this experience, I interviewed Mr. Paris, the 8th grade leader and American Studies teacher.
Well, we're going for several reasons, a couple of which include it aligns very well with our 8th grade curriculum in American history, where we've been studying the events leading up to the United States involvement in World War II. Obviously, a lot of things were happening prior to the U.S. getting involved, of which the gathering and the attempted genocide of the Jewish people throughout Europe by Hitler himself. So we're going to learn more about that, but more importantly, we're going to learn and have some reflective opportunities, hopefully, learn some empathy, see what people went through during that time period, and hopefully learn from that in order to try and avoid those similar types of mistakes as we head into the future.
Following a sizable multi-million-dollar renovation in mid-2023, the museum has shifted their approach, focusing less on static displays and more on painting a picture of just how many people passed away.
Obviously, they have many exhibits, many photos, some of which, quite honestly, are quite disturbing. But they also have some pretty neat exhibits in terms of, they have it's a tree. Mr. Powell and I talk about it a lot just because we've been to the museum so many times. They have this tree outside that is kind of framed in this window within part of the museum. And it is, I guess, what's the term? An offspring of the actual tree that Anne Frank used to kind of look at when she had an opportunity to look outside of the annex in which she was hiding out in during that time period. So that's kind of neat. Another display that they have there, it's not neat because of what it is, but it's impressive in terms of, it's a rail car that was actually used to transport Jewish prisoners in Nazi Germany. So that was, it's moving, to say the least. I'll put it that way.
These displays help humanize these victims, making them seem less like a figure and more like actual people.
It's very difficult to not take something back from it. I never go there without having gained some new knowledge, coming out. So it's a beautiful experience if you truly allow it to happen.
Thanks for that, Yambo. In other 8th grade news, in Mr. Slade's science class, students are learning about atoms.
To have some fun while learning science, students worked on an alien periodic table, making their own elements up based on real elements.
You can see these alien periodic tables in the hallway near the art room.
The other cool 8th grade project you can spot in the hallway are the Sphero long exposure photos that Mr. Powell's 8th grade geometry class made.
The boys coded robots to draw shapes and pictures that had to hit geometric principles such as symmetry. Then they took long exposure photos to turn it into art.
And in the last bit of 8th grade news, we are building boats for the boat regatta on the 13th of March, the day before spring break. We've been crazy building these boats these past few days.
We have already tested miniature models of the boats and are currently building full-scale versions. We are all having to figure out buoyancy and making a boat that can fit our team members and not just immediately sink. Race day will be the true test, and several teams are aiming for the Speedboat Award. There will also be the Titanic Award for whoever's boat immediately falls apart.
Meanwhile, in 7th grade news, the 7th graders who spent so much time and effort building their sleds finally got to race them at Snake Rock.
This has been a Cranbrook tradition for over 5 years now. It is a nice and relaxing way to take a break from the stress of school and do something fun.
In other 7th grade news, this past Monday, the class of 31 visited the CIS to find inspiration for their upcoming mineral museum project. The 7th graders were given a mineral to study last Friday and will create a mineral museum around it.
The boys have about 2 weeks to build their project and will turn them in on March 9th. As a tradition, the museums will be displayed in the hall and then moved over to CIS, where they will be exhibited for one night on Wednesday, March 11th.
In 6th grade news, the 6th graders had the opportunity to travel to the University of Michigan Museum of Natural History in Ann Arbor last Friday.
The museum offers interactive exhibits on archaeology, Michigan's prehistoric past, and evolution.
They also just created a DNA project in class during silk screening to create depth in their pieces.
They worked with an educator from the Cranbrook Institute of Art. You can go see their artwork in the 6th grade stairwell and hallway.
After all that, it's time for sports with Aiden. Aiden?
Thank you, Nolan and Yambo. Hey guys, I'm Aiden McElroy, here with all your middle school sports and MI news. In sports news, the swim season kicks off over a month ago, and you're about halfway through the season. This year, the team is coached by Coach Cole, Coach Hall, and Coach Hammond. There are four meets in the school season, including the last meet earlier this week against Covington. And the boys had some of the tough matches up and had yet to win. But they will swim against this early March against South Hills Middle School. And then their biggest and final meet is called Cumsack Leagues and will be hosted at the Natatorium. We wish the team the best of luck in the rest of their season. And now, joining us to fill us on upcoming spring sports and intramurals, we have Mr. McMichael with your Mr. McMichael Minute.
What's up, Cranes? Mr. McMichael here, checking in for your athletic update. If you have not done so already, please check in with me to let me know if you want to play a sport or you want to do an intramural. We have 3 sports offered in the spring. They will be baseball, open to 6th through 8th graders, lacrosse, open to 7th and 8th graders, and track and field, open for grades 6 through 8. Mr. Hughes will also be running the intramural for mountain biking. Athletics will get started when we get back from spring break on March 30th. Want to cordially invite you all also to Tuesday, March 3rd. We will be having a MSG basketball popcorn night. They'll be playing Berkshire. That should be a great opportunity. A lot of the girls came out and supported us back, our basketball team back in Winter 1. Be great to support them as well. Lastly, the boys swim team will be hosting the ComSac League meet on Thursday, March the 12th. If you want to come by, it'd be great to have your support. Hope you guys have a great day and a great spring break. Aim high.
Thanks for that, Aiden. Lots to look forward to spring sports and intramurals starting after the break.
And now, before we wrap things up, we wanted to acknowledge and share some of the religious holidays that are being celebrated right now.
Since February 18th, the religion of Islam celebration of Ramadan has started.
The holiday lasts a month and goes until March 18th.
Members of the religion fast, which means they don't eat from sunrise to sundown.
The point of the event, is self-reflection, charity, and prayer.
Another recent celebration was the Lunar New Year, which is also known as Chinese New Year.
The celebration took place on February 17th.
This holiday marks the end of the lunar calendar and beginning of the new one.
Celebrations for Lunar New Year include parades, food, and charity.
And last but not least, most Christian religions began their observation of Lent.
Lent began on February 18th and continues through April 2nd.
At the start of Lent, Christians often give up specific luxuries, habits, or comfort for 40 days.
This holiday involves reflection, prayer, fasting, and helping others.
We felt it was important to recognize all those various holidays going on within our walls.
Well, that brings us to the end of our show. If you haven't already,
be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notifications for all of our new episodes and other news stories about CKMSB.
You can find us on YouTube at CKTV CKMSB. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Yamo Huang.
And I'm Nolan Bradley. Have a great rest of your day, Cranes, and as always, aim high.